Hello. Today I'm going to be playing Legend of Zelda Minish Cap. Now this is a game that released for the Game Boy Advance. I've played it a good number of times. I predict that this is going to be probably 6 streams. Probably one for each dungeon, and then, of course, the last dungeon. I'm fully aware that there's a couple of pixels on the right that are off. I can't seem to fix that. I noticed it too, and it's bothering me. Perfect. A long time ago in the galaxy, no. When the world was on the verge of being swallowed by shadow. The tiny Picori appeared from the sky, bringing the hero of men a sword and a golden light. With wisdom and courage, the hero drove out the darkness. When peace had been restored, the people enshrined that blade with care. And she just barges right in. Goodness me, Princess Zelda, did you sneak out of the castle and come all this way alone? The minister is sure to be worried about you, you know how he gets. But don't worry about him, he'll be fine. Where's Link? The whole town is bustling for the annual Picori festival. I thought he and I might go together. Would you mind terribly? What was that what you're here for? Well, Link was up late helping me last night and he's still asleep, but I do have an errand at the castle. Yes, that should be fine. Link, time to get up. I'm not going to try voice acting. My voice is far too, I guess, monotone for that. You'll notice Link doesn't have a hat. This kind of tells the story of Link's hat, at least for this rendition. So yeah, I got the sword, and I'm supposed to deliver that to Hyrule Castle, but Zelda wants me to go to the Picori Festival. Now, I've messed around with some cheat codes in this game. They're quite fun. And there's a few things that you can do that will permanently make Zelda follow you throughout literally the entire game, which is quite funny. because like the companions in Link's Awakening, they weren't really programmed to go across water. So she just kind of walks on water. We've got a very ADD Zelda. We have a winner. Princess Zelda, you've won the grand prize in our drawing. These are the 3 choices. Heart piece, ruby, or shield. Took me a long time to realize that the shield has a Triforce on it. It's just such a low quality that it's just 3 squares. First thing to do is put the shield on the right button. Could have got that heart piece, Zelda. Yeah, you can bounce it off the side of the shield, which is quite fun. And somehow the entire thing just disappears. Now, rolling is kind of dangerous in this game. It wouldn't really happen that much to a casual player, but there's certain places and instances where if you roll on the exact right frame, the game will just crash. It will lock up. This is the award ceremony, and the champion may approach the blade. Of course, the champion would be the Dark Sorcerer, who may have gotten away with it or may have gotten away with it much easier if he hadn't literally just announced his entire plan right here. Link and everyone else is just standing around. Princess who holds the power of light, the mysterious power said to flow in the veins of every royal lady in your family ever since the day when it was gifted to your people. If I leave you now, you'll only cause me trouble later. That will never do. To stone with you. And somehow Link was fine here? All who stand in my way shall share this fate. Now to find what power awaits in this chest. Sorry, nothing. Nothing but those monsters. What is the meaning of this? Oh, I know the force I'm after is out there somewhere. I'm in no hurry. I can take my time searching for it. And here he reveals the power of teleportation. I never really thought about it before, but why didn't he just teleport, to the blade, into the castle, and whatever? So Vati has cursed Zelda, and these little Picori are to reforge the broken Picori sword, which broke because of Vati. But they're more than just a fairy tale, because only the royal family knows about them. so that's where I'm supposed to go. There's a really fun cheat code where you can press L to jump over whatever's in front of you. And if you use said cheat code to go back into Hyrule Town, you will permanently have Zelda following you for the rest of the game. Because right now Hyrule Town is still in a state of celebration, because you're not supposed to get there. So it hasn't updated. So unlike most Zelda games, this only has 5 main dungeons as opposed to 8, not including the last, final boss dungeon. Speaking of, the first dungeon is right above me. And this guy who wasn't there before needs some help, it seems. Little boss fight there, that's just 2 enemies. I like that it plays the boss fight music, though. So, this little guy was also a Picori wizard, but he was turned to a hat by Eslo. And so this is the best way he can get around. Because we're both searching out Vati, so naturally we should go together. Something important. The world of Minish is very small. You're far too big to meet them now. The Minish, you humans call them Picori, but they refer to themselves as Minish. How strange, in the world of humans, only this forest has kept that name. Anyhow, deep in the forest, they've built a tiny village where they now live. But if we're to enter the village, we'll have to make it a touch smaller first. Look at that. At first glance, it seems to be a mere stump, yes. No, that stump is a portal used by the people long ago to adjust to their size. With my help, you can use it to shrink down the Minish size. So using his magic, we're tiny. Just 10 little pixels. There's certain things we can't do yet, like swim. And this is, shallow water, but as we're tiny, it still counts as deep water. This is the Minish village. Appears we've found the Minish village. But we don't speak the Minish language. We need one of those universal translators from Star Trek. The first thing I'm going to do is go up here and get this whole heart piece. Not too concerned about health, but no, it always helps to get. This is Fastari. I watched the Abbey as well as the shrine to the north. Seem to be having some trouble with our language, don't you? You could use a jabbernut. It will allow you to understand our tongue. You should be able to find one in the barrel house just south of here. Naturally, eating this clearly like living, moving nut will allow us to understand their language. Very logical. Now we can speak to the Minish Elder. And we need information on who can reforge the blade, which will require 4 elements. Earth, wind, air, and fire. And the first one we're going to go to is Earth. And that just happens to be right up here. This would be the Deepwood Shrine the Minish Elder spoke of. There's something about there being monsters inside, didn't he? Hey now, no reason to be afraid or anything. I'll be waiting here. No wait, what am I saying? I'm not letting you leave me alone out here. It's been a good while since I played the actual original game here. I'm mostly, if I'm playing Minish Cap, I'm gonna play a randomizer of it. So items appear in random locations. That's a locked door. Let's see if we can find a key, like the one I just picked up. And when we're small, we tend to run into little like smaller enemies like slugs and ants and all that. I should mute my phone, shouldn't I? My notification sound is the sensor ping from Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Now that we burned the vines and somehow didn't burn the barrel can move. I always thought this room was very interesting. This was like the first Game Boy Advance game I'd ever seen. And I thought the graphics were just amazing. Because I had played dozens of Game Boy Color games. And then my oldest brother showed me something I hadn't heard of, which was the Game Boy Advance. And this was the game he showed me. was probably 7 or 8 years old at the time. I don't remember when this game came out. It was like mid to late 2000s. One thing I might do is play the Oracle games. I've played them before, but I was probably, 7 years old and never even got to the first dungeon, really. So that's games I would be interested in playing but haven't played before, which is frankly uncommon these days. Most of the time, if I haven't played the game, I'm not really interested in it these days because, I don't know. I guess I'm just used to what I'm used to. Go in here. If I push this button, there's a chest, but I obviously can't get to it yet. There's also a giant chest there. Here we have our first mini-boss, and it's not the last time we'll see this guy. Now we get the Gust Jar. Very strange item. Which, I don't know if it's appeared in any other Zelda games. We can pick up this heart piece. I believe that chest just has a compass, and as far as I can remember, I'm going to be skipping the compass and maps because I just don't really need them. But I will activate that blue warp. Can use Gust Jar. Just walk on air. Oh what? Unless we find a way to travel by water, we won't be going much further. Well, thankfully, I already brought this lily pad to us. There's a strange little glitch that can happen in this room. When you come back through, that this pot will be not where it's supposed to be. And if that's the case, you have to leave the room on the lily pad and come back. And as to that chest I couldn't get earlier, that's that. I believe that's just the map chest up there. think what I'll do today is get to the second dungeon. Perfect. That's the boss key. And that is how you can get a whole heart piece before the first boss. I think this chest is just rupees, but gonna need them. We also can't swim yet, obviously. There's a normal-sized slime, or I guess choo-choo. And that's our first boss. That's pretty much the cycle. Did not mean to double up there. That's how we get our first element. Now we should take it back to the Picori Elder. We can pretty much ignore the rest of Minish Village. So we found the Earth element. And he's telling us we need to take it to a certain place in the mountains. Conveniently located right next to the second dungeon. Let's stop and talk with this little outsider. He gives us explosives. Which is conveniently skippable if you are just, strolling through. You might think, hey, I don't need to go into that house. Speaking to these little gravestone-looking things is something that will open up later. After the third dungeon. But it's good to go ahead and get them at the ready. So the first thing I'm gonna do in the new normal Hyrule town, first I gotta talk to this guy, who will teach us about these magic things called kinstones, which make people grow closer somehow. And we're kind of surrounded. Can't get out of it. You can save and quit, which is technically faster, but if you ever play it to 100% the game and you would save and quit to skip this cutscene earlier, you will permanently be locked out of 100%. First thing I'm going to do is come in here, because this guy will gradually upgrade our sword by teaching us new techniques. First and foremost, the spin attack. Can't remember, is there anything in the shop that's good right now? Large rupee bag, how much is that? 80 rupees. Oops! Didn't mean to plant that on the way out. For some reason I thought there was rupees in there. Going to grab this while I'm at it. And even if I had the rupees to get that, I kind of need to save them right now, because there's a number of things on the mountain that I need to get. There's this guy right here who blocks your way, unless you show him that you can do the spin attack, because there's even more dangerous monsters out there. Need to come down here because there's a business scrub that I need to beat up. Can have a deluxe bottle for 20 rupees. Always good to go down there first because there's a business scrub right inside the mountain here. Right in here, who will either give you or sell you information. I don't remember. It's literally just, hey, you should go down and see this other business scrub. So these are Tektites, and they're annoying. So this is something similar, where we can use it to shrink down. So this perfectly normal looking stone was another portal to the Minish world. I suppose I would have remembered that if I'd stopped to think about it. Yeah, that's totally not a normal looking stone, though. So here we have this strange green hot spring water. Yeah, take that off of my inventory. Off of my immediate items. Because if you drop that, you need to go all the way back and get it. But the interesting thing is that hot spring water is only used once in the entire game. I think if they remaster this game like they did with Link's Awakening, they might want to find like other uses, maybe some side quests with it. As Lou recommends that we can somehow get the iron masks off of those, which we can use the gust jar to do. And yeah, if we jump in these tornadoes, he becomes a little balloon. Strange looking seed pod over there, which again is only used once in the entire game. Somehow Link can pick this up, which I find very frustrating because Minish Link can pick up this, to him, giant seed pod, but later on you can't push bookshelves without a strength upgrade. This is the one use for Crenel spring water. And if you miss, you have to go all the way back. Gonna do a little bit of skipping around here. You're not supposed to be able to do that, but you can. I believe I go up from here. There's another business scrub in here. ₹40. I've had bad rupee RNG so far. So I need to find a way to collect the last 20. Hopefully without going too far away. Oh, you know what? There was 20 down below, but I forgot to pick it up. That's why I'm behind. Would it be worth going all the way back down? Whatever. I can't use that to climb down yet. But in a few minutes I will be able to climb the rock walls. Because that's what the business scrub is selling. It's gonna do this because it's faster. Easy. I just wish I'd remembered to do that earlier. Using that cheat code that I mentioned earlier, pressing L to jump over things, you can make the math that dictates the size of the Eslo hat balloon mess up, and he will start deforming and looping textures, and it's quite funny. And now we can climb. I plan on, for both Link's Awakening and Minish Cap, having a stream where I just play around with cheat codes. Something interesting here. So these boulders do half a heart of damage per hit. Now over here we have something pretty unique. Islo says, these raindrops are like boulders of water to us, kid. Watch out. Now, while the boulders do half a heart, the raindrops actually do more than that, I believe. So, yeah, the rain is actually more dangerous than boulders somehow. We've got a puzzle that would not be as memorable to me, in a bad way, if it wasn't so dang slow. If it works, it works. Nice, just walk right through the bridge. I'm gonna pick up this. Never mind. Speaking of slow puzzles, I've never liked these slowly pushing block along to put it in a hole. Type of puzzle is just annoying to me. I believe that chest there is just rupees, which I don't really need at this point. Now we've reached Himilari's mines. What they're mining for, who knows? I never paid attention. But the one that looks different from the rest is obviously the guy that we need to go and talk to. We give him the broken Picori blade, and they get to work on it by just hammering the entire thing. And absolutely nothing else. So of the 6 dungeons, if you include the last one, the first and the fourth are completed entirely in Minish size. And so this is the second dungeon. I think that's where I'm gonna leave it for today. Short stream, but I will be back hopefully Wednesday. I won't be streaming tomorrow because streamer I want to watch is going live at that time. But Wednesday, hopefully, if nothing else is going... Am I saying Wednesday? Today is Wednesday. Friday, hopefully, I'll be streaming around 5 or 6. I'm gonna experiment with times, just to see, you know, what's better for everyone. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed your stay here, and take care. As always, stay hydrated, and love yourself.